What if your 3 p.m. crash isn't really about being tired, but about being out of balance? Mornings, you're crushing it. School drop-off, morning Zoom, maybe even a workout. But come 3 p.m., you're either face planting on your desk or mainlining Starbucks just to make it through. If you're anything like me, you've probably chalked it up to hitting 40 or 50 or insert age here. Or maybe you're thinking, so this is what carrying around an extra 10 pounds feels like. Followed by, wait, when did that happen? But what if your afternoon crash has less to do with your age or overscheduled life and everything to do with shifting hormones? Because once we hit perimenopause, that shift can zap our energy so fast, it feels like someone slipped us a Benadryl and left us in charge of dinner, the dog, and everyone else's emotional needs. In today's episode, I'm peeling back the curtain on what's actually behind your afternoon energy crash and how understanding what's happening in your body could be the difference between barely getting by and actually feeling like you again. So, grab a quick potty break, and if listening start to finish means staying in there, I get it. I'll be right back to break it all down in less than 90 seconds. Welcome to Are You There, Midlife? It's me, Monica. Hi, I'm Monica Topetti, wife, mom, health coach, and hormone imbalance survivor. And I'm on a mission to help women in midlife balance hormones naturally without drugs, doctors, or divorce. Are you tired of dealing with heavy, painful periods that look like a crime scene? Are you sick of struggling with anxiety, fatigue, or brain fog that... What was I just saying? Are you frustrated doing all the things to lose weight but still packing on pounds faster than a real housewife changes Birkins? Girl, you are in the right place. Join me each week as I spill the tea on what to expect in perimenopause and beyond. From IBS to insomnia, bloating to funky body odor, I'll unpack all the weird stuff happening inside our midlife bodies, plus give you the latest science and holistic solutions to manage it all. So ditch the Spanx and hop on board the Hot Mess Express. Let's do this. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the show. So before we dive in, I want to talk about something you can do right now to figure out what exactly is going on with your hormones. If you haven't taken my free hormone symptom profile assessment yet, go ahead, pause the podcast, and head on over to bit.ly/take my hormone quiz, because this assessment is going to blow your mind. First off, it's not some random quiz that just showed up in a Google search. It was actually developed by 3 functional medicine doctors, and it pinpoints which of the 7 most common hormone imbalances could be behind your symptoms. Second, unlike traditional lab tests, which measure hormone levels that change literally every day, this assessment uses something called hormone symptom profiling to analyze your cycle, age, and symptoms. Because hormone imbalance can show up in your body long before it shows up in your blood work. More than 1,400 women, and counting, have already taken this assessment and finally have the clarity they need to stop spinning their wheels and start feeling like themselves again. So, if you're tired of feeling tired all of the time and want to actually enjoy summer, yeah, it's like 10 weeks away, go to bit.ly/take my hormone quiz or click the link in today's show notes. Okay, so let's dig into the real reason 3 p.m. is hitting a lot harder than it used to. Because this isn't just about being a little tired. This is about running out of energy for the stuff that actually matters to you. Like going on a hike with your family without falling behind, slowing them down, or pretending to tie your shoe just to catch your breath, or saying yes to dinner with friends and actually enjoying it instead of canceling again because the thought of pants is too much, or getting through your workday without needing a caffeine drip, a second wind, or a B12 shot. And sure, you could just brush it off as life right now. But if you're constantly dragging, crashing, or running on fumes by mid-afternoon, there's a deeper reason here, and it's not just your schedule or your age or those extra 10 pounds. Today, we're going to break down what's really going on with your energy in perimenopause or menopause, and what you can actually do to start getting your energy and your afternoons back. So let's talk about what most of us do when this 3 p.m. crash hits. Caffeine? Obviously. I mean, we hit the nearest Starbucks drive-thru, we reheat that same old cup of coffee, or if we're not a coffee drinker, maybe we crack open a Celsius and just hope it gets us through our day without collapsing. Sugar? Oh, hi there, 3 p.m. snack drawer. Suddenly, we hit a wall and we find ourselves rummaging through our emergency stash, looking for Skittles, a Snickers bar, really anything to give us a quick hit so we can just keep going. Or maybe we just tried to power through because we're tired, but who isn't? So we take a couple of minutes to stretch. We refill our Yeti and pretend this is just normal. Look, I get it, because I've done all of this too. But here's the thing. These quick fixes don't solve the problem. Sure, we might feel better temporarily, but that temporary boost can send us crashing even harder later. Because what goes up comes down, and fast. And the next thing you know, it's dinner time, but you're too tired to eat, let alone cook. Here's the thing. If we want to get our energy back, we need to understand what's fueling the crash. So what's actually going on here? Let's get into it. This isn't just about our schedule, our age, or those extra 10 pounds. It's a hormonal domino effect set in motion by midlife shifts happening behind the scenes in our body right now. Starting with cortisol, otherwise known as the stress hormone, right? So cortisol is supposed to rise in the morning to help wake us up, and then it's supposed to gently taper off as the day goes on. But in perimenopause and menopause, that rhythm often goes sideways. Because as our estrogen drops and stress builds, our body struggles to regulate cortisol the way it used to. Cortisol out of rhythm doesn't just mess with our stress response. It can leave us running on fumes with hours still left in our day. And then spike in the middle of the night when we're desperate for sleep. Then there's estrogen and progesterone. These hormones work in partnership, starting at puberty and slowly drifting out of balance in perimenopause as our body prepares for post-reproductive life. Estrogen and progesterone impact everything from our sleep, our mood, and our ability to handle stress to even how stable our blood sugar is. And when they're off balance, we can feel scattered and short-fused, like we're operating at half power. Next, there's our thyroid. Now, even if our lab work says it's normal, our thyroid still might not be doing its job. That's because in perimenopause, inflammation can reduce something called receptor sensitivity. There's a mouthful. So what does that mean? It means that even if we're making enough thyroid hormone, our cells may not be able to use it properly. And when our thyroid slows down, even just a little, it can hit our energy hard because our thyroid plays a huge role in converting food into fuel, which means only a couple hours after we've eaten, we can already start to fade because our thyroid isn't converting calories into energy fast enough. And finally, there's insulin. Insulin is the hormone that regulates blood sugar. And in midlife, our body doesn't respond to it the way it used to. This is becoming a pattern. Do you see this? That's because as estrogen drops, it can make us more insulin resistant. And that means that our blood sugar spikes faster, crashes harder, and takes our energy down with it. In addition, we start to become more sensitive to blood sugar swings, even with foods that we used to be able to tolerate without any issues, like granola bars or fruit smoothies or a bagel with cream cheese. And when our blood sugar is unstable, it can send us on a hormonal roller coaster. First comes the high, then the crash, and then we're checking out emotionally with our partner, our kids, with life. All of these hormones, cortisol, progesterone, estrogen, thyroid, and insulin, are interconnected. When one's off, the rest are left scrambling to compensate. So that 3 p.m. crash, it's not random. It's our body signaling a deeper imbalance and the first step to identifying a pattern and reclaiming our energy. So what should we start paying attention to? Now that we know what's actually behind or could be behind that 3 p.m. crash, let's talk about what to do next. And no, this isn't about adding another task to your already overloaded to-do list, I promise. This is about tuning into the patterns that your symptoms have been pointing to. Because once we start paying attention, we can start connecting the dots. So what does that actually look like? Instead of asking yourself, why am I so tired all the time? I want you to ask, how's my sleep? Really? Am I falling asleep easily or waking up at 3 a.m. like clockwork? Am I waking up more tired than when I went to bed? Am I crashing before dinner or getting a second wind when I should be winding down? What does my stress actually look like for me right now? Am I snapping at people I love, crying in traffic, or losing it over the littlest things? Am I doom scrolling, wine-o'clocking, or pretending I'm fine when I'm not? Am I self-soothing with comfort carbs and pushing through my day, but never giving myself time to recover? What's going on with my schedule and my mental load? Am I forgetting appointments, dropping balls, or feeling resentful about every ask? Am I overscheduling myself, people-pleasing through burnout, or living for the weekend, but too tired to enjoy it? Am I constantly overcommitted, even to the things I actually want to do? What does my food and nutrition look like? Am I eating in a way that actually supports my energy? For instance, do I get shaky, cranky, or foggy if I go too long without food? Am I skipping meals and calling it intermittent fasting and then crashing by mid-afternoon? Am I relying on snacks and coffee to stay vertical and hoping it'll hold me over till dinner? And lastly, how am I supporting my hormones overall? Not in a perfect supplement stack kind of way, but in a how am I sleeping, moving, eating, and recovering kind of way. Am I giving my body what it needs or just asking it to push through? Our symptoms aren't random. They follow patterns. And when we start seeing symptoms and patterns as data, we can finally figure out what's throwing our hormones out of whack. That's when everything starts to make sense. Finally. That's the moment we stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what's my body trying to tell me? That's how we go from just surviving the day to actually getting our energy and our self back. And that small shift, well, that can change everything. Bottom line, your afternoon crash isn't just about being overscheduled or carrying an extra 5 or 10 or even 15 pounds. It's about our hormones. And that's where my hormone symptom profile assessment comes in, because it's going to help you identify which of your hormones are most likely out of balance. And it takes into a number of factors like your age, your cycle, and your symptoms. It takes less than 3 minutes. It's completely free. So go take it now at bit.ly/takemyhormonequiz or click the link in today's show notes. Then join me back here next week where I'm going to unpack, am I depressed or is it my hormones? 3 questions to ask before taking an SSRI for perimenopause or menopause. Until then, sending you out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and fewer hot flashes. Hey friend, can I call you friend? Because I already feel like we're friends in my head. Did this podcast teach you something, make you laugh, or feel less like an alien? If so, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could take just 60 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the number one way you can thank me and support the show. Until next week, stay cool and keep away from sharp objects.